Testing 1, 2, 3. Well, there's definitely sound now. So I suspect, again, I can only suspect personally, but please understand that each and every event, each and every event in your life is precipitated with the potential choice that you will live in love or you will live in fear. There is no other choice for you to make. In any moment, in any instant of your life, you only have those two simple considerations. Whom shall you serve, love or fear? Good or evil? God or the devil? The simple elegance of those choices can make it easy when you become aware of the difference between love and fear. And many of you have not made that clear distinction between love and fear. It is very fascinating to consider this possibility. Thank you, Yogananda. So this energy that he's brought forth today is very different, and I want to share with you my own personal experience of it. He said to me earlier that you get to the place where you recognize when your mind and body are going along lines that they've been conditioned to go along, that you've been trained to be afraid, or you've been trained to be anxious, or you've been trained to be sad, or you've been trained to be depressed. And he says you suddenly realize that you don't have to indulge in those anymore. You realize, I don't have to be depressed. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be guilty. I don't have to be ashamed. You come to a realization of that. Oh, somebody's saying we need to get him a bat phone. Hi, Van Twinkle. Is there sound now? There should be sound on YouTube now. I have no idea why it's doing that. It's never done this before, twice in a row. Anyway, in each and every, I want to say this from personal experience, because I've gone on a long trek in this lifetime. It's only been these last 5 or so years that I've become conscious that in every moment you are given the choice to live in fear or live in love. And only in these last year, it's becoming really apparent to me that that is the only choice we ever have. That's the only choice you will ever have. Anyone, I don't care who you are, rich or poor, the only choice we will ever have in this world is the choice, thank you, is the choice between love and fear. That's it. Whether you're getting a bill payment, you have a choice. If you're overwhelmed with debt, you still have the choice. Are you going to be a function of love, or are you going to go into the fear of it? If you got your government coming after you for your money or your taxes, are you going to react with love or fear? Because it's not about the government, it's not about your money, it's not about the stuff. It's about your becoming. You're becoming one with love or one with fear. Those are your only choices. Doesn't matter who you are in this world. Whether you're a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker, it doesn't matter. The only choice we have in this world is we're either going to choose to live from love or we're going to choose to live from fear. And I want to tell you, personally speaking, that it is a very difficult journey in the beginning. You know, we've been honored and blessed to have the masters teach through us, to guide us in this process, to give us the ways and the practices and the steps to consciously experience our own choices, to feel what happens when you choose love versus when you choose fear. And that's it, quite simply. That's all you have in this world. Every moment, every breath, every step, every interaction that you have, you only have those two choices of behavior, love or fear, in any instant, any moment. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, how much money you have or don't have. Your every action, your every word, your every deed, your every thought, and your ultimate outcome will be either that of love or that of fear. He's saying to me right now that materialism, the desire to acquire great wealth for great wealth's sake, for authority and power control, is a very difficult journey, as those who have acquired wealth for wealth's sakes often spend inordinate numbers of lifetime in this world trying to get out of the enslavement to the world. But even those enslaved to fear, are in the process of learning to return to love. We can look at some questions and answers. Good morning, YouTube. We got the sound thing. Again, this is twice in a row that this has occurred. I don't understand why that has happened, but it has happened. And we simply need to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you get to this position where you become conscious. And we were saying this earlier to myself and Norma Jean. You need to get to a place where you are conscious that you are choosing love or you're choosing fear. The idea, he says 3 things that people really get caught up in that keeps them trapped in fear is the belief that there's not enough time. So that's the biggest one for humans, your belief that you don't have enough time. So that keeps you stuck in fear. He says they're like leaden diving boots without a diving suit to protect you. The belief that there's not enough time. The second thing that he said that keeps people entrenched in fear and in lifetimes of fear is the belief that there's never, ever going to be enough. That was the second one. There's never going to be enough. So there's not enough time. There's never going to be enough. So he said these 2 of the 3 things are what's primarily responsible for keeping humanity, the vast majority of humanity, stuck in this cycle of birth, death, and rebirth on this dimension. He says the third thing is a lack of self-awareness, not being aware that you have a choice to be operating from love or operating fear. These 3 things are what keep you enslaved to fear more than all the other evils. These 3 things keep you most enslaved. There's not enough time. There's not enough, right? These 2 things are very important. And the third one, again, I'm not operating on memory right now, believing that you don't have the ability to choose, to not know how to make the distinction between one or the other, love or fear. So those 3 things, not knowing you can choose, not believing you have enough time, and believing there's not enough. He said those are the 3 things that keep most humans stuck in the birth-death cycle over and over and over again. He says once you realize and perfect yourself as an instrument of love, then you are moving closer to the very source of life that gives life its attributes of existence. As you get very close to being the embodiment of love, you move then to the very heart of life itself. For the existence of all life is the embodiment of love. And I found that very fascinating to hear those words. That the closer you are to love, the more you are into the embodiment of what gives life life. Love is the source of all life, right? Fear is the source of the birth-death cycle. Love is the source of the life cycle. Very fascinating. Thank you for coming and joining me today, everybody. So for those of you that are just arriving, I have the energy of Master Yogananda today, who wanted to share the conception with us how love overcomes your suffering. And that you must, in order to have your love overcome your suffering, you need to understand that in each and every moment, and now I'm paraphrasing, but he says in each and every moment, you need to understand that you actually have a choice between love and fear in any moment. And it can be really hard to make that choice sometimes, especially when your fear is very high and you might not think there is any other choice. And God knows we've all been there. I've certainly been there, believing there was no other choice than to yell or to scream or to run or to hide or to avoid. So there's that first point of recognizing you have choice to be in fear or to not be in fear, to be in fear or to be in love. And that's the only place that I find that they all say the same thing. You can't serve the two masters. You can only be one or the other. And it's the only place the word or applies. It's the only context in which the word or applies. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. So I'm going to just scroll back here a bit and see where we got questions. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for the badges. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. We will have to do a sound check at the beginning. I have no idea. This has never happened before, so it's just an interesting process that we get a chance to practice what is being taught to us, right? Because every situation and circumstance that we face, all of us, not some of us, all beautiful 9 billion humans and the trillions of other creatures on this planet, the other dimensional beings that are here. In every moment, we only have the choice to decide if we're going to live from fear or love. And if we're not conscious we have that choice, then we're going to be stuck in one or the other, right? More often than not, if you don't know you have choice, you're usually stuck in fear and survival, right? Let's see what we got here. Hi, Kayla. Welcome. Get me a bat phone. Yeah, a bat phone would be really helpful in a case like that. There are people that can potentially message me directly. Love you too, Con. Yeah, we made it home safe last night. Thank you for your hospitality yesterday. Amanda, thank you, Yogananda and William. I needed to hear this today. I was struggling with not enough time recently. Oh, that's another one. He says, very good for you. Very good that you understand. That is one of the most important of the three to recognize. The illusion that there's not enough time is one of the biggest factors that keeps many enslaved to fear. There's not enough time. There's not enough, right? Right? Those things keep us in fear. Especially those two. That's why I made those two the first. Hi there. Hi. I struggle with fear and anxiety every day. Thank you for the tools you teach us, William. Well, Momo, thank you so much for being part of this and being part of that journey. I'm really grateful. And Yogananda thanks you too. It's, again, I'm just transmitting this information. I'm just transmitting information they give to me. And yes, I understand. And in knowing now that you have that choice between love and fear, you will realize, he says, you will realize your divinity. There is the devil nature, that he calls it the devil nature, and then there's the divinity nature. The divinity nature is not bound by the restrictions of body, mind, emotions in the same fashion that you living in fear are, right? But I'm so happy for you that the information that you receive is proving to be very beneficial to you. I'm really happy to hear that. Wonderful. Someone saying, my last fear I will face in August and forgive. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, for those of you that are on YouTube, if you have a problem with the sound there, I will ensure I do a secondary sound check. For some reason, it might be. I don't think it's YouTube. I think it's the StreamYard interface that I'm using that is creating the problem, because I just simply turned a different mic selection that reinitialized my mic. For some reason, it's not doing that. I'll have to call tech support and see if they can figure that out. May I have a message? If drawn, please. Well, of course you may. Have you not been listening to the message you received? You received a very good message today. How many messages do you need to receive before you realize your beauty and that your function of love is a matter of life and death? Learning to be as love is the choice between life and death. To live in fear is to be in a living death. You are in your fear, you live in hell. In your love, you live in heaven. Wow, thank you so much. Maybe Rumble is a better platform than YouTube, or in addition to. Yeah, I might be able to do that. I do have a Rumble account I have not used yet. Yes, thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. You downloaded TikTok. Wonderful, Van Twinkle. So now I got you both on TikTok and YouTube. That's wonderful. Yeah, please consider following me on both YouTube, on all my social media platforms. It tells the algorithm that the content is useful and valuable, and it doesn't cost you anything. It gets people that would not normally get the information, gets it put into their hand or put up on their feed so they can get connected to the wisdom of the masters as well, right? But thank you so much. Rebecca's saying, I had an important dream. Is there something I'm supposed to remember? Please. He's saying you will remember it. If it's important for you to remember, you will remember it. If it really is important for you to remember, you will remember it. It's that simple. If it's not important, it's not going to be remembered in the same fashion. But what I've said to you today about recognizing that you only have a simple choice to make while you live in this world, that if you make that choice sufficiently enough, you will be free of all your suffering and your fear, that you can only choose between love and fear. That is all you will ever choose, love or fear, even in the food you eat and the things you drink, the words you say, the actions you do, the considerations in your mind. They are all of either love or fear, and only you can redeem yourself through love. You can redeem yourself through love. And that other great master of yours, you call him Master Jesus. When he said, I am the way and the truth and the life, was speaking of love, that love is the way and the truth and the life. And he became that love and embodied that love, and therefore has everlasting life, as you may also acquire this state of grace through learning that you have the freedom to choose to function as love and or to function as fear. Kings and paupers alike are all faced with the exact same simple choice. Shall your thoughts, your words, and deeds be of love or fear? That is it. It has nothing to do with wealth or position of power. It has to do with the simple choice that you are living from love and through love, or you're living from and through fear. The wages of sin is death is to simply mean that when you live from fear, you will not know life. You will simply know suffering. And the wages of love are everlasting life. Very simple, isn't it? Oh, hello there. It has been a long time. That sounds like a Leonard. Wonderful. Good to see you from Spain, Mallorca, I believe. You're very welcome. Hello there. Lived in fear for the last 4 years. That's a tough place to be, but when you're living in the greatest fear, that's when you can make the greatest strides. When you say, no matter what I see going on around me, no matter what my mind, anything of fear, like you want to get to the place where your mind thinks thoughts that cause fear, and you say, no, I'm not going to choose to engage in that thought. But what about this? What about that? Your mind will try to convince you to be afraid. Your mind will try to convince you to be afraid, and then you'll be stuck. The dark forces on this planet keep people in fear because that keeps them in positions of worldly power and authority, right? So surrender your fear. Say, no matter what this fear says, what might happen, I'm not going to choose to live in fear. It is the most difficult journey to go on, but I'll tell you, the journey towards love is certainly infinitely more pleasant than the journey of fear, right? And I lived in the journey of fear for a long, long time, personally, and you don't need to. So recognize, are you afraid in this moment? Do you believe, what did he say the 3 things were? There's not enough time, you don't have enough. And the third one is you have the ability to choose, having the ability to choose love or fear. Not knowing you have the ability to choose was the third one. So there's not enough time, you don't have enough, and you can't choose. You don't have the awareness to choose. Right? Those are the 3 things he said were the key things in understanding that what keeps you enslaved are those 3 things. not knowing you have a choice, believing there's not enough, and believing there's not enough time. Hi there, beautiful. Someone said, as you always say, William, we have all the time in the world. Yeah, when you get to that place where you, no matter, if you know you have time, even if it doesn't, your mind is saying, oh, there's not enough time. And you say, there's always enough time. I have all the time in the world. If you can get to that place consistently, events are going to start to change around you, because when you change your thinking, you change your energy. When you change your energy, you change events and circumstances, the way people, time, and space interact with you. And again, this is not an exclusive thing. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are, how poor you are. We are all faced with the same rudimentary choices: love or fear. Period. Bar none. Don't care how much money you have or how many armies you command, or whether you're living on the streets. You only have the same power and authority that any other individual does. You choose with love or you choose with fear. You act with love or you act with fear. You speak with love or you speak with fear. That is it. And when you yourself start to awaken to that reality that there's only those two things to choose from, you will start to hear your politicians differently. You'll start to hear when they're speaking from fear. You'll watch television. You'll see things very differently when you know the difference between love and fear. Oh, they're trying to make me afraid. They want me to be in fear, because if I'm in fear, then I will support their fear, right? So they keep you in fear, so you support their fear and keep them trapped, and you keep yourself trapped, right? Keep that in mind. Wonderful. Beautiful day. How's the office coming along? It's coming along really good. I found a poem I wrote for my grandfather the day, and also a pic of grandmother and the pic of her. Any message from her? I'm just getting like clapping hands, and she's pulling a skirt up and dancing, like a skirt. I'm seeing a skirt held up and like a ballroom dance sort of thing going on. That's what I'm getting from her energy right now in response to your consideration. Question from Vertical Connection. Yesterday, I suddenly felt a higher power suggesting calmness and to react from love. Was it my higher self speaking to me? Yes, it was definitely your higher self speaking to you. It was your higher self speaking to you. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Because that's the third thing he said, knowing you have the ability to choose. If you don't know you can choose, you're stuck. If you don't believe there's enough, you're stuck. If you don't believe you have enough time, you're stuck. If you don't believe you have choice, you're stuck. But once you know you have choice, you can then choose whether you're going to think or speak in love or fear, or engage in activities of love or fear. Big difference. Vicky's saying, I work every day on staying in love and understanding. It seems I'm tested daily with challenges. Yes, absolutely, Vicky. We all are. But I can promise you this. Yes, he's saying to me right now, you must understand that the greater the challenge, the more desired the outcome will be. The more you can establish your function of love, the more you can establish that you are a function of love and no longer surrender yourself to the seductions of fear, there will be a great celebration and reward. The journey can last days, weeks, even months. But if you understand you are on the journey and you know that the destination is love, would you not endure anything? If you know that you will arrive at love's door through all the trials and tribulations that you are going through, would it not be worth the journey? Of course it will be worth the journey. If you know that you will arrive at love, it is always worth the journey. So take heart. You are honored, you are cherished, and each step of the way, your Father within knoweth what you do. Yeah. I spent the better part of 59 years before I consciously got on this journey of awakening, and been fortunate enough to receive the guidance and the wisdom and knowledge that I get to channel to you guys. It's really wonderful. You're not here to suffer. You're here to be free, everybody. But you have to earn that freedom. You have to earn that love. Thank you for subscribing. For those of you on TikTok have been subscribing to me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It supports the channel. Is there a prayer, William, I can do to get the job? It's important to me. Yes, it's a very simple thing, Sarah. It's just coming into me right now. It's saying, I am open and receptive to receiving with open arms that which I have requested. It's that simple. I'm open and receptive to receiving with open arms that which I've requested. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it. Don't try to force anything out there. Just be open and receptive to it. And you might be surprised a sudden change come up that could be even better than what you expect. I've seen that happen many times too. Especially when people get readings with me, their guides or their angels will give them information or direction, and their lives completely change. It's an amazing thing. William, can I ask what my most prominent clair is? Yeah, it's clairsentience. Your prominent clair is clairsentience, which means clear feeling. You can feel the truth of things. You can discern more with feeling than with thinking, with evaluating. Clairsentience. But that's followed for you, that's followed by claircognizance, clairaudience, and then clairvoyance. That's the structure. But clairsentience is your most dominant clair. Yeah. If you want to get into some more about what your clairs are and how to use them, book a reading with me, Jenny. Thank you so much. If you want to book a reading, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. I also want to remind everybody, you've got less than 3 weeks now to sign up for Masterclass 101, where you will learn to connect to your guides and angels. You'll learn to be able to take authority over your thoughts, your emotions, your body and mind in brand new ways. You're going to learn how to change what you do with your body in such a way that you can begin to heal it and correct it. You're going to be able to connect to your guides and angels, and you'll be working in part of a community of people doing the same thing, awakening and transcending themselves out of suffering into creation. Because you came here to create, you didn't come here to suffer. Thank you for the badges. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Can you see anything about my divorce? I'm very confused. I'm being told to tell you this. Let go of your confusion. Let go of your confusion and speak these words. I accept love's authority in my life. Those words, anytime that confusion comes up, I accept love's authority in my life. And stay with those words. Stay very connected to those words. Whenever confusion comes up for you, I accept love's authority in my life. And you'll be surprised, because thoughts organize matter and emotion, right? Very fascinating. Hi, Wendy. Good morning. Good to see you, darling. Speaking of fear, I recently observed that our school system has made a rule that our kids are not allowed to touch or hug each other on the school grounds. No one seems to challenge this. Well, again, when you realize that there's a big change coming on the planet right now, and there's a big change coming, emotion organizes matter. The more fear we have, the things are going to change on this planet according to our emotional nature. And love and fear create very different experiences. But again, sometimes you have to lose something to be willing to find it again, like love. Sometimes you have to live in fear to realize the pain and the suffering that fear causes will force you to change. Eventually, you have no choice. We all end up coming back to love. I like that. I ain't got time for wishy-washy fears in my way. That's wonderful, Share Bear. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, so please hit the thumbs up, the likes, the subscribe buttons on the wherever you're receiving this transmission from. It helps the algorithm. You can't keep me all to yourself, guys. Can't keep this knowledge to ourselves, can we? Get it out there. Seriously, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. Get this information to other people. Humanity does not have to suffer like this. It does not. Suffering, one of the things I love about one of the things Eckhart Tolle said is, suffering is only necessary until it is not. And it's very true. Once you realize you don't have to suffer, you won't. But then you have to go through the process of practicing. Amanda's asking, how many of us need to change to love in order for the earth to shift back to love? That's a great question. I'm told 1 million people in a state of real love can shift a whole planetary system. 1 million people in a state of true love, not the fabricated human love. I love you. No, a true love that recognizes and embraces and sees the beauty, the goodness in all that is. Where you can, even your enemies, you can see the love and the beauty in them. And they're saying 1 million people would be able to do that, begin that shift. But there's over 2 billion people waking up right now. What does it mean when my cousin dreams about me having a baby when I'm not pregnant? If I tune into your energy, there is the energy of a child around you. There is the energy of a child around you. They're tuning into that etheric energy because you're not at the point where you want to have children. But the energy of that child, that you have the option, the choice, you can make the choice to have a child if you want to. But the child is around you. It's an open-ended agreement that they're open to joining you in the life walk, but you must accept that that's what you want as well. When you accept that, then, well, there's a certain inevitability that follows when we accept something. Wonderful. Good for you. Congratulations that you have that energy around you. Wonderful. Okay, I think we're all caught up here today. I think I got one more question down. Oh, I got that. Kayla is asking, I had a visitation during a dream a while back. The woman came with the message, Vinda. Do you know who this woman was and why she came with this message? Yes, there's an element of the Ayurvedic philosophy that you need to incorporate into yourself. You need to study. What is the element? She's saying it is both medicinal and philosophical, that you need to incorporate these elements of the Veda into your practices. Wow, cool. I'm also being told to tell you, look up the word Vinda. Why don't we do that together? Why don't we actually look up the word, see if there's actually a word called Vinda. All right, let's just see that. Because somebody told me we could do that. So we're going to do that. So let's see. Vinda. Vinda. So the word Vinda means to twist, to wring, to wind. So to twist, to wring, to wind, right? What is it? Why is she being given that word? Well, you usually twist or wring things when you're trying to get something out of it. Right? You squeeze the juice out of it. And that ties in perfectly with, you need to take these two aspects of the Vedic system, and incorporate it into your practices. Wow, thank you. It also means finding and gaining. Wonderful. So I think we're done today, folks. I have a joyful, busy, and exciting day with me. Please join me on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Shortcuts for Your Soul. I want to thank Yogananda for being present with us and the other beings that touched in at different points with us. I want to wish you all much, much love. Thank you for supporting the channel. Remember, like, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye for now.